just found out that it has gotten really, really cold, and we've been having a couple of frosty nights, and I just learned that it's going to snow next week, and it's going to get really, really cold on Sunday. So I'm planning to actually harvest a lot of the kale today, and I'm going to make kale chips from it. Usually I do take care of the kale, and I would dehydrate it and have it so I could just crumble and put it into soups and stews and stuff like that, or I will make pesto from it. If you have seen that recipe, I love making kale pesto, and I will put the link for that here somewhere. Anyway, so last year I forgot to, I missed harvesting the kale, and it kept on growing, but it was frozen. And I can still harvest it and put it in stews and stuff like that. But this year I'm going to be a little bit more proactive, and I'm going to actually harvest a lot of it right now and go make some kale. And by the way, yeah, you can see this is our little patio garden, growing middle of the city, major city, on the patio, lots of kale. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells so good. I love the smell of kale. And I was saying that, look, this has been pretty cold outside, and this is the most beautiful kale ever. So if you don't know how to grow anything, you're a little bit nervous, kale is definitely the way to go. You cannot mess up kale. All right, it's full. Let's go in and make some kale chips. All right, I got the kale. And now I'm going to make the kale chips. Look how many. And this is just like part of what I'm growing. That's only from 3 plants. Anyway, so I'm going to now to make kale chips. I want to say about kale chips. Someone said kale chips are out. It was a fad. I don't agree with that. I think kale chips are still really, really good. And the reason I like to make kale chips, I love eating kale chips. I think it's a really nice snack, and I'm trying to eat healthy. And it is all about the flavoring you put on the kale chips, I guess. I like it to keep it simple: salt, olive oil, maybe a little bit of lemon, and garlic powder. But you can make it in different, obviously there are like a million recipes out there. But what I want to say about kale chips, why you want to consider making kale chips, it is that even though that they are kale chips, you can still use them in cooking. And it's because they have flavor on them, they add a lot of flavor. So think about this, it's a win-win. And for us, kale chips is something that we must have on our Christmas dinner table. Sounds weird, but also kale chips, like you say, like when you make salads, sprinkling some kale chips on top for that crunchy thing. So there's many good reasons for making kale chips. So no, kale chips are not out. It's not a fad. Anyway, so to prepare these, I will remove the stems. I just do it like simple like that. Stems are really, really healthy, but they are a little bit chew-some. So I do not want them in my kale chips. So I will just remove any of the membranes and just keep the soft part. I will make them about bite-sized like that. And the stems, they will either you can make a stock from it, or give them to your buddy, which is what I'm gonna do. So as you can see, I have a mountain of kale to go through, but it goes pretty fast. So let's go. And some can have still a little bit, like you can see like this. It can also be a little chew-some, so I like to take that off. You want to make the kale chips as pleasant as possible. And as you take them off the stem, then this is a good time to break them into smaller pieces. Okay, I'm gonna spread the kales on a baking sheet. I have a silicone mat, but you can have a You can also, look at that, the stem. And then I'm just gonna put some oil on, salt, and garlic powder. I'm also gonna actually add a little bit of nutritional yeast, only because I like that taste, but that's optional. And then I'm just gonna toss them around so they all get coated with all this goodness. And I'm preheating the oven for 150 Celsius, which is 300 Fahrenheit. Make sure I get everything there. And if you see any big pieces, this is the time to maybe make them into smaller. If you see any stems, that's the time to remove them. All right, I'm gonna spread them out like that, and we're gonna put them in the oven. Okay, here are my kale chips. Look, they look really good. I'm gonna put them in the oven, and I'm gonna be in the oven until they dry. It takes about an hour, but it all depends on the size of your kale chips. Let's go.